Hello everyone, I'm Theo Eshart from Henry Stewart Events, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar sponsored by CI Hub, Towards Better Brand Management by Enhancing Creative Operations. During the session, please send through your questions at any point using the questions box, which you can open by clicking on the question mark at the top of your GoToWebinar window. Also a reminder that a recording of this session will be sent to you tomorrow, so you can view it again at your own pace. And now it's my great pleasure to pass you over to Phil Arnold from CI Hub. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Theo. And hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Today, for the next 60 minutes or so, this webinar will look at enhancing brand management through improved creative operations. We're going to explore how AI-powered solutions with integrated DAM tools and, most importantly, strategic workflows can transform your creative processes. So join us as we dive into some actionable insights and best practice for boosting efficiency, collaboration, and brand consistency, and get started on a path to more creative operations. I'm joined by two wonderful people today. So I'm Phil Arnold, I'm CRO at CI Hub, and with us we have Jake, who I'll hand over to now for his introduction.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Jake Athey, VP of Sales and Go-to-Market for Acquia's Dam and PIM business. I come from Wyden and joined Acquia in 2021, and we're proud partners of CI HUB and Ansira here today. And Jessy.
Thanks, Jake. A little bit about me. I've been with the company for 19 years through a couple of name transitions. I started as a graphic designer creating marketing materials for our clients. Over the years, I've progressed from designer to regional manager and now a director of our creative services team supporting over 50 team members across the country, with my primary focus being in the beverage alcohol industry. I've built lasting relationships, acquired numerous skills, and contributed to the development of the products we use today. I take great pride in being a part of a supportive company and a team that is always evolving and striving for the next big innovation. I'm happy to be here today.
Thanks, Jessy. Phil, you're
Yeah, that old chestnut. I've got to unmute myself, haven't I? Thanks, Jessy. Thanks, Jake. So the topics we're going to cover today include AI-powered solutions to creative workflow challenges, integrating DAM and design tools to ensure smooth process and enhance collaboration, ways of using portals to inspire design teams and manage brand compliance and creative efficiency, along with strategic integration insights enabling streamlined asset reuse and sharing across multiple platforms, and creative lessons with optimizing workflows, stakeholder communication, and decision-making. And with that, I'm going to hand back to Jake to introduce Acquia.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. And Acquia, proud partners with CI Hub for more than the last 6 years, going back to when we were Wyden and then joined Acquia. And for those unfamiliar, Acquia provides the universal platform for the world's greatest digital experiences. And among the solutions that we focus on at Acquia is brand management, which is really anchored by Acquia DAM to help marketers, creatives, and technologists to create, manage, and activate digital assets from one place to every channel to truly delight your customers. Now, as creative leaders, you understand the importance of efficiency and consistency in managing your brand assets and your creative workflows. And at Acquia, we view digital asset management, or DAM, as the self-service hub that really empowers the creators, marketers, sellers, and developers alike. And it's designed to help you streamline every phase of the content and creative lifecycle, ensuring that your teams can focus on what they do best, and that's being creative. So break it down here in some of the key phases. Plan. DAM connects with your content and creative strategy to support your operations, helping to align your team's efforts and overarching brand goals. And then to create with DAM, you can effortlessly create new content assets by leveraging existing assets and data, ensuring that brand consistency and saving valuable time. And then to orchestrate your experiences, DAM enables you to organize and distribute content seamlessly across channels, maintaining that unified brand voice. And publishing, DAM ensures you can publish your content, optimizing for each channel, enhancing the impact and reach with your content experiences, and then optimizing over time by informing continuous improvement. DAM helps to make more data-driven decisions and investments in your new creative and creative operations improvements. And then finally, archiving DAM preserves your content assets for life, safeguarding your brand's legacy. And that's why we consider DAM a brand's best friend here today. It's really helps to standardize asset creation and asset management processes to automate some of those routine tasks, freeing up your team's time to focus on innovation and creativity. And with DAM, you're not just managing assets, you're really empowering your teams to achieve more. And we like to think about it that way. And as I meet with creative leaders and creative leaders like yourselves, we know that having the right tools is really essential for driving innovation and maintaining efficiency in your creative operations. And that's why we consider these 4 technology categories as the core 4 resources within the creative toolkit, really essential tools that no creative team should do without. And first up, of course, Adobe Creative Cloud and related design tools. It could include Figma, Sketch, Canva, and the like. These are the industry standards for design and creativity, offering powerful capabilities that really enable your team to bring their most ambitious ideas to life. Whether it's Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, and others, these tools are really indispensable for crafting that high quality, professional grade visual design and experience that you seek. Next up, when I talk with creative leaders, stock photo libraries, widely used. These resources provide instant access to a vast array of high quality images, saving your team time and effort, and they allow you to quickly find the perfect visual to complement your creative projects, ensuring that you never have to compromise on quality or creativity, as well as speed and time to market. And of course, we talk about digital asset management. I'm a little bit biased here, partial to DAM. This is the backbone of your creative operations, enabling you to organize, store, and retrieve assets with ease. And DAM really ensures that your team can collaborate effectively, maintaining brand consistency and streamlining workflows by providing that single source of truth for all digital assets. And then integrating with project management tools. These are crucial for keeping your team and your projects on track, managing the timelines, facilitating communications within your team. And so whether you're using tools like Workfront, Asana, Monday.com, or perhaps something homegrown, effective project management really ensures that your team can deliver your projects on time, every time, while maintaining the highest standards of quality. And together, these 4 technologies really form that foundation for a robust creative toolkit, empowering your teams to work smarter, collaborate better, and achieve more. And I'll be curious from the audience, a little audience participation. What are the other tools that you just can't live without that you see as an integrated component to your creative operations? If you would, please just go ahead and throw that in the chat just to create a little bit of a dialogue here. And so with that as the backdrop of how these creative toolkit tools come together, CI Hub is really that critical component to unlock more power with the tools within this creative toolkit. And that's why we're here with CI Hub. Phil, to share more.
Thanks, Jake. So to give you a little introduction about CI Hub and what we provide, CI Hub provides a set of connectors that connect your creative applications, so everything from Adobe Creative Cloud, as well as Microsoft Office, Google Office, Canva, Figma, Sketch, along with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, as well as clouds, and then we connect those into whatever DAM repositories you're using. We support about 70 different DAM platforms, cloud storage platforms, as well as stock photo libraries, and connect to over 26 of these desktop applications. And we also provide a connector into the underlying OS itself via our CI Hub Drive product. And we'll talk a bit more about that later on. But on the next slide, you'll see a selection of some of the DAM vendors that we partner with, so including Acquia, to give you access to assets stored and managed within your DAM directly within your creative applications. And with that, I'll hand back to Jake to continue.
Yeah, so hopefully now you know a little bit more about Acquia, CI Hub, and we want to dive further into how some of these technologies work together and then really feature a really great customer story here with Jessy and Ansira. And as our first section, we want to explore why CI Hub and an AI-enriched DAM solution are really game changers for creative workflow challenges. And as you know, in an era where efficiency and speed are paramount, these tools offer seamless integration and smart automation to reduce the bottlenecks and enhance productivity. And by leveraging AI-enriched DAM tools and CI Hub together, your team can streamline asset management and focus on what truly matters. And that's creating impactful, high-quality content by reusing, repurposing, and reimagining content assets at great scale and speed. And so let's uncover some of these solutions to transform your creative operations. Now, there are several AI capabilities available with DAM solutions today, including Acquia DAM and many others on the market. And this includes some of the marquee names in AI, including OpenAI, Amazon Recognition, Clarify, Google, and others, powering many of the DAM capabilities that we offer and other DAMs offer today. And this can range from creative workflow assistance to auto tagging and AI generated content and organization to help assets be found and used and managed and governed more efficiently. Can also lead to more advanced generative asset transformation capabilities as well. Now, in this fast-paced world of creative operations, finding the right asset for the job quickly can really make all the difference in your day. And that's where the AI-enriched tagging in DAM becomes invaluable. For creative users who work in design applications, this transforms how you interact with your digital asset library and your creative projects at the same time, making searches intuitive and efficient. And so let's break down some of these key use cases that we're seeing across our customer base working with AI-enriched DAM tools and be able to find and use and put those assets to work in the CI Hub powered connectors. So first, of course, tags and descriptions. And this has been around for the last decade. AI automatically generates relevant tags and detailed descriptions for assets, allowing you to locate exactly what you need without having to sift through endless files. And this means more time for creating and less time searching. The other benefit of AI in DAM is the generation of captions and alt text. And this not only enhances the accessibility of assets published to the web, but also improving searchability within the DAM. And AI-generated captions and alt text can ensure that every asset is easily discoverable and accessible, even if you're not sure what you're looking for. And then, of course, colors. Designers, of course, work in this environment, and AI can identify and tag the dominant colors in your assets, which is incredibly useful when you're working on projects that require specific color schemes or brand guidelines with the right tone, etc. Also, for our video and audio producers, automated transcription and AI-generated transcripts really make it simple and specific to find specific content and parts of a long-form content asset by searching for keywords and phrases to really streamline your workflow to find the right video or video clip or audio clip real quickly. And then custom prompts. With AI, you can set custom prompts that guide the tagging process, tailoring it to fit your unique needs with your metadata schema, ensuring that the assets are categorized in a way that makes sense for your team and your organization. And so by integrating AI-enriched tagging into your digital asset management process, you're empowering your creative team to work more efficiently, ensuring that the right assets are always at their fingertips precisely when they need them. And this seamless access within the design applications really means that you can focus on the creativity and the innovation and the speed and velocity at which you work confidently that your asset library is working as hard as you are. And by leveraging AI coupled with the way you work within creative operations environments, you're minimizing that context switching, improving workflow efficiency, and achieving better organization, allowing your creative team to stay focused and productive within their design applications where they work all day. And I just love this line, as I recently spoke with a creative director who said, with well-tagged assets that are instantly findable and accessible, designers and marketers can glide through their workflows seamlessly, sidestepping the chaos of the endless pings and emails that plague teams who lack that central system today. It's not death by 1,000 pings. And if you're in a design environment, you may be able to relate to that sentiment there. All right, so with that, moving on, we wanted to explore how one of our mutual customers between CI HUB and Acquia DAM revolutionizes their creative operations by integrating DAM and their design tools with CI HUB. And this is Ansira, Jessy from Ansira, to share more about how they're streamlining their processes and enhancing collaboration across their creative and marketing teams at Ansira. Over to you, Jessy.
Thanks, Jake. I'd like to take a moment to start off with an introduction to Ansira so you can get to know who we are and why these tools are so important to us. Headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, Ansira has been around for over 100 years with the original mandate of helping our founder manage the proper use of his clip art. We now have offices around the world and over 1,600 employees who support over 500 brands with 1.6 million users across 140 countries, supporting 11 different languages. Wow. And you may have even heard that we recently acquired 2 of our competitors, taking the best complementary capabilities across all 3 organizations and combining them into what is truly the next-gen brand-to-local sales ecosystem management platform. Our next generation platform automates over $7 billion of brand funds in 50 different currencies, and the effectiveness and efficiency of our ecosystem platform and services have been recognized by industry experts, analysts, publications, with a 4.9 out of 5 G2 customer rating, which tells me we're creating something extremely satisfied in the marketplace. As we look here on the slide, this is some of our clients and industries which we support. Ansira is the brand to local platform that helps companies synchronize their ecosystem into business growth into scale. We work with leading brands across 11 business verticals shown here, such as beverage alcohol, technology, manufacturing, insurance, and more, managing both brand and local sales teams' needs by synchronizing the critical information and support needed to drive growth. Sellers can get what they need, when and how they need it, while brands can rest assured that their assets and funds are being used appropriately for consistent brand journeys. By synchronizing the brand to local ecosystem, we bring the highest level of efficiency and control users require while ensuring compliant use of funds and assets, to include hyper-local media activation to drive growth in a measurable way, creating uniformity and consistency across the marketing to sales ecosystem. Creating uniformity and consistency for our clients is where the integration of Acquia DAM and Adobe InDesign along with CI HUB is vital to the work that we do, allowing our creative services team to work independently or collaboratively with ease while uploading our clients' brand standards and upholding to those as well. We help to bridge the gap between national brand strategy and local impact. Our creative services team works as an extension of our clients' brands, transforming existing assets into high-impact, tailored marketing materials that engage local audiences without any compromise at all to their brand integrity. Acquia and CI Hub are actively used daily by our global creative services team as they design for our clients' requests. Our library houses all client assets as well as production resources, making linking with CI Hub and Adobe InDesign an important part of the overall process. I want to take just a moment to share a use case example to really highlight these products and how they support our team. There are occasions when multiple designers need to work on a single file at different times. Maybe the creative starts with one designer, then when it's completed, the client wants to use it for another location. Therefore, the new order could be aligned to a different designer. Or maybe a project is still open and the original designer is out of the office, but there are changes needed. Having the ability to align an original designer's job with another designer to get those changes done really helps, because we can assist with using Acquia and CI Hub with the linking of the files for efficient design collaboration on a single project, and it helps to keep the order moving forward. The ability to manage a project in a single program is easy when searching for assets, viewing and filtering results, plus the drag and drop feature, all while using CI Hub connected to DAM right in Adobe InDesign, making our design workflow highly productive. Being productive means we need efficient creative operations. Whether leveraging our global team of designers or building creative for scalable templates within our own platform, we ensure high quality production while maintaining consistency and compliance. To do this, it is important to have a single location where our creative team can access resources such as client provided assets and style guides, stock assets, and even production templates. Category links on our landing page help our team to get where they need to be quickly. Our asset management team shares with us the importance of clean metadata for efficient searching by our users. We've learned that imports from stock imagery sites come with their own metadata of keywords and are not quite as refined as we'd like. Therefore, our practice of not importing those as they are allows us to set up data that works best for our needs. And as Jake mentioned earlier, well-tagged assets that are instantly findable and accessible make for a better uninterrupted workflow. I've mentioned efficiency several times today, and that's important because the fast-paced nature of our clients' industries means Acquia and CI Hub are important for ensuring smooth processes, enhancing collaboration, while maintaining brand consistency. Being a global company, having our entire team with access to the same resources makes working not only efficient for us, but also ensures that we are maintaining consistency in how our clients' brands are represented around the world. If a brand updates their assets, say maybe a new bottle or a change of logo, we can acquire those and upload them to our DAM library, making them available to our entire creative team. And at that same time, we can remove old images, which would prompt the need for relinking should a design using old creative come up again in the future. This process supports consistency in the assets we are using, always representing our clients' brands with the current key visuals. I remember when I started designing with the company over 15 years ago and having to download assets from servers, then package them up with working files to be able to collaborate with others. But those packaged assets could unknowingly be out of date. But now having procedures such as CI Hub with Adobe InDesign eliminates not only having to package up files and get internal support, but also ensures we're using the most up-to-date assets. With everyone using the same platform, we can easily support one another by simply relinking the needed assets from DAM. All right, I want to talk a moment about our successes. Our customers' successes are our successes. That's why we are obsessed with doing whatever it takes to drive positive outcomes for our clients. And having the right tools directly supports our team and in turn, our clients. Today, we have 116 design professionals across the globe supporting our clients, producing over 130,000 custom designs annually. That's an average of an incredible 300 to 500 creative requests daily, which equates to each designer creating around 7 designs per day and an average of 24 to 48 hours, resulting in a 98% satisfaction rating on our design turnaround time. Pretty incredible. Next, I'd like to show you a few of our samples of some of the custom creative which we do. This is, again, based on the numbers I just shared with you. This is a very small sampling, but you can see that our design projects can range from menus, store displays, event promotions, and so much more.
This is really great to see, Jessy, and thank you for sharing some of the great custom creative that you do. And your performance metrics are incredible. Really great to see the throughput that you have. And building on how you're optimizing your creative operations at Ansira, let's dive a little deeper into how you're using one of the most loved tools in DAM, and that's portals, to really inspire creativity and manage brand compliance more effectively across all of the different brands that you work with. Tell us more about utilizing portals.
Sure. Brand portals can be just that, a space to collectively house a single client's assets to help in narrowing down the search for needed resources, but we've gone a step further using portals to inspire our design team. With what we call our design gallery, a portfolio of our finest work, team members can browse for inspiration among featured top critique scoring designs of their peers. Being able to also search and filter through completed designs in this portal is an appreciated resource for designers in training as they get a chance to see previously created projects as they learn best practices for the different items which we produce. When it comes to managing brand compliance, as mentioned earlier, maintaining consistency and compliance is an important part of how we represent our clients' brands. Brand-specific portals create efficient organization of current client assets as well as brand guidelines to ensure we're compliant and following their set brand standards. This makes it easy for team members to find the individual assets they need quickly to stay brand compliant when developing custom creative. And then as I wrap up my portion of today's presentation, I'd like to close by saying when it comes to how our team uses Acquia dams to complete projects, it's really one source of truth, one project at a time. From a dashboard of quick links and stock brand assets, die lines, production templates, and even featured curated collection, everything that we need is all in one place. The combination of CI Hub linking assets and Adobe InDesign from Acquia Dam makes for a perfectly streamlined process for Ansira's creative team.
Thank you so much, Jessy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jessy. Absolutely incredible statistics of what you're producing. It must be a real challenge having done that pre-implementation of systems to help manage all those assets. Must have been an interesting project to get that started. So to give a little more information about how CI Hub can help your creative operations, whether you're working as an in-house agency, users within a company, or via a external agency. There are so many different touch points for all the different output channels, all the different assets, and the people involved in the process to make sure that they're seeing the right assets at the right time, in the right place, in the right way. And if we look at the next slide, what we find with a lot of implementations of DAM within a wider MarTech stack is that the horizontal integration, so the integration between all those different systems, gets a huge amount of attention because you need them talking to each other. You might have your work management system talking to your DAM, talking to a PIM, talking to your brand portals, and some of those might be within the same platform, or they might be multiple platforms that you've integrated either yourselves, with your vendor, or with a system integrator that you're working with. But what CI Hub looks at is the often missed vertical integration of how your users interact with all the different elements within the MarTech stack. And without a platform like CI Hub to help with this, users are often left wondering, well, where do I go to get, which system do I look in to get that information? And there'll often be a different user interface. There's the potential for needing storage in multiple locations. And then you end up copying them out of that system, working on them locally, and then re-uploading them into the same or a slightly different system. So what CI Hub does is it provides a panel directly within those applications that your users are familiar with, within all the creative, corporate, and user interface applications, so that they get a unified view regardless of where they're getting those assets from. You see all your creative assets, you see all your metadata, and you can drag and drop both the metadata and the assets directly into the creative documents that you're working on. So you're getting accurate information every time from the right systems, knowing that if there is an update to the metadata or to the asset, you know about it, and the documents you've used that information in also know about it. So if you've placed an image into an InDesign document or a PowerPoint document, and that underlying source image changes, you need to be notified about that so you can update it to the latest branding. And because we provide that via a single integration, you can have access to all the assets that you've got stored in Acquia DAM across all 30 or so applications that CI Hub supports. And we handle that maintenance. So whenever there's an update from Adobe or from Microsoft, generally it's the same week that if an update is needed from us, we're providing that. It's automatically available to all customers, and there's nothing you need to do to stay up to date, and things just keep working. And to give you a few examples of what this looks like, we've got a document open here using the CI Hub Professional connector. So the connector that's used by most of our customers at the moment is our Professional connector, and this is our full-featured connector for all the applications. We also have a Drive product, so CI Hub Drive, which basically turns Acquia DAM into Google Drive, so DAM on your desktop, and allows you to see assets directly within a folder structure. So it creates a virtual folder structure based on metadata that's been defined, and allows users to navigate within a very familiar environment. And then later on this year, we're going to be launching a corporate connector, and this is giving more streamlined access into your assets without some of the power features that are needed within the Professional connector for our creative users. So within the CI Hub panel, we're giving the options to connect to multiple systems, so to your Acquia DAM, maybe to stock library images, maybe to cloud storage, other DAM platforms you might be using. You can navigate, search, and filter your assets using metadata you've defined. So you log in to the CI Hub panel using your Acquia DAM login, so the same credentials, giving you the same permissions, the same access rights that you get if you log directly into the DAM. You can preview your assets and your metadata. You get drag and drop placement of assets into the documents you're working on, along with on-demand resolution selection. You can upload new assets, control versions, update linked assets that are already placed. And for offline access, we use a smart caching algorithm that makes sure that the right assets are available offline as you need them. We can also integrate with license and rights management platforms and ensure that asset reuse and content repurposing is made as easy as possible, along with sort of maintenance of legal obligations. Within our Drive product, you can access assets directly within the underlying OS. And this is giving you sort of two key use cases that we're finding our users making more and more use of. So because of real-time parallel file synchronization, unlimited volume mounting, and the automated storage management, you're able to use CI Hub Drive effectively as a work in progress DAM. So all assets stored in Acquia DAM as they are currently, but because you can access them directly from the desktop with full file linking, you can double click an InDesign document to open it up, work on it, full version control, and any changes you make can be saved back into Acquia DAM. So it takes away the sort of the pain points of needing to download assets out of a web-based DAM to work on them locally and re-upload them. You can do it directly within macOS Finder or Windows Explorer. And because we're supporting, again, the same access control, your same login to Acquia DAM, you're seeing all the permissions that you have access to. You're seeing the correct keywording structure and all any facets, filters, taxonomies that have been set up within your environment. And the other use case that we're seeing getting a lot of use is pushing assets to users' desktops. So as a new campaign is being launched, you can push a set of approved marketing assets to them and then remove them again once that's no longer needed. And it can just be made available on the desktop to thousands of users globally without having to request that they go in and get them from the DAM when they want to use them. They can just be sitting directly on their desktops. And that's sort of an overview of what CI Hub can do. Just a quick reminder, if anyone has any questions for any of us, please post them in the Q&A section of the webinar, and we'll come to those towards the end of today's session. So optimizing our creative workflows, it really means streamlining the entire creative process, everything from ideation to final delivery, enhancing both efficiency and productivity, reducing bottlenecks and automating as many repetitive tasks as possible. It's about implementing tools that enable better collaboration and communication among team members within environments they're already familiar with. So minimizing training, minimizing overhead of going out to different places and streamlining that work. It's allowing creative teams to focus more on innovation and delivering impactful work rather than being bogged down by those manual processes and administrative tasks. And this then leads to faster turnaround times. And as we've seen from Jessy's statistics, incredible turnaround speed of turnaround time is possible, along with high quality outputs and extremely happy customers. With data integration and ease of use, most companies have a digital infrastructure that's grown over time, consisting of many different systems, and the flow of data and its availability to individuals can often be inefficient and inconsistent. Data silos often still continue to exist, and that's why it's essential to bring together relevant data so it can be used effectively without incurring high costs or being tied to a particular vendor. If you transfer data from different systems to a website, you're only transferring relevant data to achieve high performance, so it's not being bogged down by too much information being hosted in that environment. And if companies did the same for their employees in the departments, then better performance can be expected here too. Training employees in new digital tools and workflows can be reduced in cost, but it's more importantly an investment in culture of continuous improvement and encouraging adaptation to new technologies and ways of working. And it's really important to ensure that it's not something that's seen just at the start of the project. Onboarding new team members, updating training is an ongoing element of the project for as as long as you're running a platform, to make sure that as changes come along, new functionality, you're getting the benefits of all those new functionality.
All right, thank you so much, Phil. It's really great to understand the extent of the capabilities that CI Hub can offer in connecting creative applications to dams and drives and so much more. And having explored those capabilities and optimizing creative workflows, we wanted to share some of the insights from our extensive experience, as Phil and I and Jessy have worked with hundreds of creative operations teams and customers through our time. And we really want to focus on some of the strategies and ideas that enable more streamlined asset reuse, sharing, and really creative operations efficiency. So as you've heard from Phil, in the realm of creative operations with the customers that we work with at Acquia, some of the most innovative and useful integrations that we have between DAM and CI Hub that transform the way our teams work really go to support that efficiency and consistency across all projects. And so here's a look at those three categories that Phil just explained for what we see common among the customers that we work with. And first and foremost, really enabling that seamless design integration. With CI Hub, your teams can effortlessly access digital assets working within the favorite design tools such as Adobe InDesign most prominently, as well as Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and After Effects. And these integrations really ensure that your design teams maintain that consistency and spend less time hunting for assets, allowing to focus more on the creativity and the innovation and the design work instead. And then we have a tremendous use case for efficient presentation creation. And for those that work in Microsoft Office 365 and PowerPoint often, CI Hub's connector there really makes it easy to connect and incorporate brand approved assets into your presentations. And this not only enhances the brand consistency, but also accelerates the presentation development process, ensuring that your slides are always polished and professional. And then finally, as Phil described, that centralized asset management. It's a real game changer for collaboration. Making use of the CI Hub Drive, you can streamline teamwork by making the latest assets and versions accessible across all of your teams. And this helps to minimize the duplication and ensures that everyone is working with the most current files. And this really fosters more efficient and cohesive workflows. And these are just a few of the most commonly used integrations that we see, offering a glimpse into how our customers are using CI Hub to enhance creative operations and drive efficiency and maintain brand integrity across the board. So next, we want to share a few tips for how we see customers streamlining asset reuse and sharing with a few best practices in DAM. Phil, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, of course. So what we're looking to do is centralize asset storage. So to utilize DAM as a single repository for all digital assets, ensuring easy access and consistency across all platforms.
And that's really important, building on that to leverage metadata and automated tagging with the ability to enhance searchability and retrieval, making it easier and faster for your teams to locate and reuse assets efficiently wherever they work, whether it's in the DAM, in the design applications, and so forth.
By integrating across all the tools that users are working with, using CI Hub, you're connecting Acquia DAM with your design tools within Adobe Creative Suite and your productivity tools such as Microsoft Office to enable seamless access and use of assets within very familiar environments.
And with that, through integration also comes just process integration and applying clear usage and brand guidelines, developing and communicating those asset usage guidelines. That helps ensure brand consistency and compliance and reduces the risk of any misuse or misrepresentation.
With automated version control implemented within Acquia DAM, it helps to track asset updates and ensure that all team members are always working with the latest approved versions of assets.
And with that, really using this combination of tools and better process alignment to facilitate good interdepartment and cross-departmental collaboration, ensuring collaboration by providing access to the right assets and projects within DAM, allowing different departments to contribute, review, and really utilize those assets more effectively. And moving on, beyond some of the tips for streamlining asset reuse and sharing, there's the human aspects of how we manage the creative operations to ensure more or clear communications and consistent branding. And some of the tips that we've gathered from working with our customers include really establishing that unified and central access point to the brand guidelines, the brand templates and assets with a comprehensive set, all accessible ideally through the DAM and through the applications that your design and creative teams and partners work in day out. And this really ensures that everyone has a clear understanding and can easily apply the brand standards and the brand assets that really uphold your visual identity.
It's also really important to implement a centralized feedback system. So the use of integrated tools to create this centralized platform to ensure transparency of feedback and revisions, streamlining all communication, and reducing the risk of misinterpretation between marketing and creative teams.
Yeah, and another thing that I know our creative team does, and perhaps Jessy, your creative team does as well, is just regular alignment meetings or stand-ups, regular quick meetings between the creative and marketing team members, perhaps agency partners, to discuss project status, any challenges and things to work through, and really aligning on the objectives back to how you manage your creative operations.
It's also important to use collaborative workspaces, so to leverage those collaborative workflow reviews and portal capabilities within your DAM to allow the marketing and creative teams to work together in real time, ensuring alignment on both asset creation and modifications as it goes through the creation and approval process.
And last, depending on your business, much like Jessy shared here and how Ansira supports various brands, creating standardized processes for localizing and tailoring assets using templates and workflows supported by the DAM and any other integrations, really to ensure that consistent application of the brand elements across different markets and different regions and languages, channels, and so forth. With that, we want to just wrap up with a few actionable insights, tips, and ideas for more effective decision making, and some of the lessons learned for optimizing creative workflows and communications within many of the creative environments that we've worked across with our customers we work with at CI Hub and Acquia. And one of those first tips that really stands out is to adopt agile methodologies, implementing agile processes and practices such as regular sprints and stand-up meetings to enhance flexibility and responsiveness within the creative operations. Some of the agile retrospectives allow you to evaluate completed projects, identify areas for improvement, and make informed decisions for your ongoing or future initiatives. Some of these agile methodologies really foster better collaboration, quicker adaptation, and a means to respond quickly to any changing project requirements and so forth. So we're fans of the agile way to work. Also fostering a culture of continuous feedback, very closely related to that agile method, ensuring that you have a culture where feedback is regularly solicited and acted upon using tools from Acquia and CI Hub to help streamline and close that feedback loop. Also, more effective decision making, encouraging open communication channels, ensuring feedback is constructive and meaningful, really leads to more actionable, useful, timely improvements. And the creative leaders who prioritize continuous feedback really report higher levels of team satisfaction and more effective creative outputs and tremendous performance, like you saw from Jessy at Ansira here. And then be able to leverage some data-driven insights using analytics from your DAM and from your project management tools to track asset performance and user engagement and guide more strategic decisions to support more streamlined creative operations. And you may base some of those decisions on the insights about asset use and reuse across channels to support improved asset creation and distribution strategies. This will help to ensure alignment with your brand goals, as well as improving your return on content investments. And so we see creative leaders who are emphasizing the importance of data in making more informed decisions, leading to more effective resource allocation and improved brand management practices. So with that, just wanted to wrap up with a few takeaways that we've shared with you here today. This webinar explored some of the strategies and tools that bring together AI-powered DAM solutions and design tools with the power of CI Hub. By leveraging advanced technologies and some of these strategic integrations, teams are able to enhance collaboration, streamline asset management, and maintain that brand consistency across platforms and processes. And fostering that creativity through the inspiring portals that we saw from Ansira and adopting some of the best practices for workflow optimization. This can really lead to more effective decision making, better stakeholder communication, and better outcomes. And so some of the key takeaways that we've shared with you here today include using AI-enriched DAM tools to help automate asset management, metadata generation, and enhance efficiency through asset reuse, integrating DAM and design tools for more seamless access and improved collaboration and consistency, using and creating brand portals to inspire that creativity and maintain compliance at the same time, and enabling seamless asset reuse and sharing across platforms through integration, and optimizing your workflows and communication through more continuous feedback loops and data-driven insights. So we hope you found some meaningfulness in some of our key takeaways here, and encourage you to look at some of the things that we've shared with you here today to what you might apply within your own creative operations. Phil?
Great. Thanks, Jake. So just a reminder to ask any more questions that you would like answered now in the chat panel, or the questions panel. You don't have access to the chat panel. We've got quite a few already, so we'll start on those. And the first one is, how accurate do you find the AI tagging tools? For example, things like Adobe Stock are becoming useless because of excessive tagging.
Yeah, that's a great question, and emphasizes the importance of, just because you can apply AI doesn't mean you should just let AI do all of the work. For those that work in DAM, it's really important to have a review process to ensure that what AI tags is useful and accurate. It really depends on your use cases, it depends on your assets, but it can be a great supplement to the way you work and provide a tremendous starting point, always emphasizing the importance of a human in the loop. Anything you would add, Phil?
No, I totally agree. As with many things in life, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think that's an important lesson. Jessy, is that something that you have explored in any way, of how to use AI tagging at Ansira?
So at the moment, our asset managers are still going through and using the data that will come through. And as mentioned, like sometimes it's not always the best, so it's another, as far as, it has to still be refined so that it works for our use case. As you pointed out, it really depends on what we're going to be using it for. So I do, it would be great to see in the future that works a little bit more refined, but it's a great resource to have.
Definitely. The next question, I think, is one for you, Jessy. How do you manage training and onboarding such a large global team to ensure that processes are followed correctly, especially when they're then updated over time?
I will say communication is key in many ways, right? So we hold monthly meetings with our entire creative services team to go over any updates that have happened, in that month period. We're constantly communicating because, as I mentioned before, like assets can change quickly. So we have a lot of different ways which we communicate with our teams, whether it be through Teams or we're sending emails or we're meeting in small groups, because there are some groups of our designers who do have a focus on specific brands. So we're having those conversations, like Jake was saying, like you have these weekly check-ins to make sure like everybody's using all of the right things. But if it's ever a big change, it's definitely something that we're calling a meeting and we're talking about it, because we cover all the things as far as like meeting, email, and conversations, but it's to make sure that everybody gets the message in the best way that works for them. So communication, communication, communication.
Yeah, and there's another question for you, Jessy. I think there's a few of them. What is your process for knowing when branding is outdated and your workflows for removing that outdated branding?
Yeah, so for outdated branding, because we work so closely with some of our supplier clients, they are alerting us to know when their key visuals have changed. So we know what goes out into the market. They work with us to make sure that we have the most up-to-date assets so that everything aligns, whether someone is getting something from a general point of sale or they're doing a custom creative through us, that everything is aligned and works well together. So the updates of those things sometimes has some overlap, right? So speaking specifically to the beverage alcohol world, sometimes in a liquor store, you might have where, yes, there's some new bottle images, but they got to get through the old stuff first, right? So you have some overlap where some of our creative might have the old bottles for a small period of time, but then we'll remove those from our library and only start to use the new things, which would require that relinking. When they put up, if we refer to an image later down the road, we would make sure that, that link is no longer active. So it has to be relinked so that we're using those most up-to-date resources.
Great. That's a good approach. And a last one for you, Jessy, is how are your designers utilizing the CI Hub interface to ensure they are only using assets in their designs that are intended for the correct clients?
So it's definitely, I guess that's kind of a two-part answer. So one, it's a requirement that we all use the same source, right? Like one source is the place to be, and that is our. We're always saying that in training from day one. Like we're all using the same thing, so it's just a requirement for our designers, and then just making sure that they're aware of it. Again, the training piece of. You know, showing them how it's used, make sure we're using it, all connectors are working the way that they should. We primarily use InDesign, so having that seamless carry through, the drag and drop and things like that. So it's more of a requirement that we have for our team, and that's how we are sure that we're all using the same thing and we're staying with that consistency and compliance.
Perfect. And as we're only got 2 minutes left, I can cover the last ones of when will CI Hub Drive be available. For Mac OS, it's already available. You can get it on our website, ci-hub.com, and you can also get a free trial for that and any other of our connectors. Just go and register for them. Drive for Windows is currently in beta testing, a closed beta test. So as soon as that's available, we will announce it, but hopefully not too much longer. And also mention that if anyone's at Henry Stewart Creative Operations tomorrow, please come and say hi. We're sponsoring that event tomorrow in London as well.
That's great. And just wanted to remind all of our Acquia customers who may be interested in a CI Hub trial that you can sign up free at ci-hub.com for your free trial. And for those that are interested in learning more from Acquia, we welcome you to get in touch. You can email dan@acquia.com, or if you want to see all of our DAM tools in action, you can request a demo or a free trial at acquia.com/DAM. And with that, thank you for joining us. Phil, over to you to take us out.
Yep. Thank you very much, everybody. I was also asked if there will be a recording, which there will be. That should come out in the next day or two from Henry Stewart. And I hope you found this extremely useful this last hour. There's been some really great insights from Jake and Jessy. So thank you both.
Thank you, Jessy. Thank you, Phil. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.